Tonight, a community is in shock after the state's deadliest fire in nearly 20 years.
Investigators say they now know what caused the devastating fire at a home in Orrington Saturday that killed a father and 3 children. Our Jana Barnello is in Orrington and she joins us live now with more details. Jana?
Kim, Greg, this fire just got ahead of firefighters. It got ahead of the Johnson family, a very difficult fire to fight and control, even more difficult to deal with in its aftermath.
You can't make sense of it.
That seems to be everyone's sentiment in Orrington. Less than 3 days since Ben Johnson and his kids, Ben, Leslie, and Ryan, died when their home caught fire early Saturday morning.
Kind of lost right now. You know, it was kind of a surreal feeling.
The Johnsons were working on buying their dream home on Dow Road, renting it for the past 6 months. Friday night, after the family went to bed, investigators say cardboard boxes left too close to the wood stove sparked, and lighter fluid nearby helped the flames spread. When firefighters arrived, they found Christine Johnson on this roof. Her husband had gone back inside for their kids, but they didn't make it out.
They were really wonderful people. Ben was the type of person that would give you the shirt right off his back and, you know, would do anything for his family. And it doesn't surprise me that, you know, he was trying to save his family in what happened here.
Fire investigators say Johnson and his kids all died from smoke inhalation. Christine Johnson is being treated for the same condition at a local hospital. The community is offering their support through a small memorial and just stopping by to pay their respects. And friends are already planning fundraisers, possibly at Hollywood Slots, where Ben Johnson worked.
I think the guy's a hero. Obviously, was an unbelievable person, hardworking, family guy, loved life. And, you know, unfortunately, with this tragic situation, you know, obviously it showed what kind of person he is. He went in after his kids, saved his wife. And I think if he could hold on to something, I think that would be it.
Counselors have been available at the Johnson Children's School for the past couple of days. Firefighters having a debrief of their own, a little counseling session of their own, just to make sure they're doing okay in light of this horrible situation. It's definitely taking a toll on the entire community. Live in Orrington, I'm Jana Barnello, News 13. Kim, Greg, back to you.
All right, very sad story. Thank you, Jana.
Yes, Jana.
In Augusta, a family is picking up the pieces after a fire there heavily damaged their home.
Yeah, investigators say it started when the homeowner tried lighting a wood stove, apparently using gasoline, something the state fire marshal's office says really you should never do. Tonight, that man's still in the hospital recovering from serious burns. The home is still standing, but did receive some serious damage in that fire. You can see the front door there. Most of the windows are now boarded up.
His wife was also treated for smoke inhalation, but she is now out of the hospital. The family did lose their dog in the fire. Now, with the return of the heating season and stories like these, the fire marshal's office really wants to make sure you follow the proper steps when you're using your wood stove or fireplace. Again, keep flammable materials away from heating sources and never use a flammable liquid to start either one. The vapors from gasoline are extremely explosive and they can cause a fireball. They say only paper and kindling should be used to start a wood stove. Now, we did catch up with Orrington's fire chief today. He says you can never be too cautious when it comes to dealing with fire in your home.
Caution is always right, period. Caution is always right. If you question anything, you know, where would you leave your kindling? Where would you leave your newspapers to start your fire? Where would you, you know, put anything? How far away from the wall should it be? Always go more than less.
Well, an 8-year-old girl is also recovering after suffering some pretty severe burns over the weekend.
It happened when her clothing caught fire Sunday morning. She was so badly burned that she had to be flown from her hometown of Caribou to Portland, a roughly 300-mile trip. It is unclear exactly how it happened. An investigation is underway. Continuing our coverage now of a bakery strike in Biddeford.
Facing big wage and benefit cuts, they're on strike against Hostess, the company that owns Interstate Bakeries. Our Catherine Underwood is live in Biddeford now. And Catherine, does there appear to be any end to this in sight?
These employees have been here for 4 days and they plan on being here for as long as it takes. They've got the fire going over here. They've got snacks. They've got porta potties. They're not going anywhere until they see some changes.
Up, here they come. Got to use a big truck to escort everybody.
And now those are some choice words from these bakers for the Teamsters. That's a different union that has agreed to the new Hostess contract. But clearly these union workers are still fighting their battle. Now Hostess filed for bankruptcy earlier this year and in a court decision won the right to force a new contract onto the Bakers Union employees. Now some bakers have already seen an 8% wage cut, a cut to their benefits, and months ago had their pensions taken away. Friday, bakers here and at plants across the country stopped working and started striking. A Hostess spokesperson tells us as a result, the company has permanently shut down 3 plants and says it will be forced to liquidate within days if the employees don't get back to work. And for some walking the picket line here, that would mean an uncertain future after spending years inside this plant.
I don't think I'm going to get my job back. I'm making the same thing I made when I started in '99, the same amount of money. It's crazy. We make the money for them by making the product, and they just want to take everything from us.
Now Hostess is urging everyone to get back to work to help rebuild the company. Now there are a lot of facts and figures being thrown around here, so we do plan to speak with one of the heads of Hostess brands to get even more on their side of the story. You'll hear from them coming up tonight at 11. For now, we're live in Biddeford. Catherine Underwood, News 13. Back to you.
All right, we appreciate the update. Thanks very much, Catherine. Well, it was 2 weeks ago today that Superstorm Sandy roared into the Northeast. Really, the direct hit was New York and New Jersey.
It's a place where so many have lost so much, which is why the people of Ogunquit are reaching out to try to give people there a much-needed break right here in Maine. News 13's Brad Rogers is following efforts to give free vacations to people in need. Brad, it's a generous offer. Are people taking advantage of it?
Yeah, there are some, and hopefully it will be even more in the coming week here. Now, 2 weeks after Hurricane Sandy hit, thousands of people in New York City and the Jersey Shore, they're still sleeping in shelters with homes that are either destroyed, unlivable, or without power. The town of Ogunquit, they'd hoped to host as many as 130 of those storm victims this entire week. At the last minute, many decided they just simply couldn't leave. However, about 10 hurricane victims are either in Ogunquit or on their way this evening. Airlines and buses are donating space to get them here. Inns and hotels putting them up for free, and restaurants are feeding them for free. But mostly, this is a week about providing some much-needed rest and relaxation for people devastated by Hurricane Sandy. In fact, organizers are still trying to get as many people here as possible.
I know. What time do we need to get them out of Logan? And if we can get you on the flight, then we can get you up here and we'll handle the rest.
Katrina, we could all write a check and we could all donate and do the best we could do that way. But this is close.
New York and New Jersey, that's a stone's throw away for us. And so it really goes to the heart of things, and that's what we're here for.
This place is almost like returning back in time to see just the simplicity of everything and the calmness of everything.
It's a place that they can clear their head, and what a place to do that. There's no better place like this than to do such a thing.
Well, as you can probably tell, some of those hurricane victims are still in shock. They either haven't been able to cry since it happened or can't stop crying. Greg and Kim, all of them, though, are still very angry it's taking so long to restore power to their neighborhoods.
All right, at least a break for some. Thanks, Brad. A national think tank based at UCLA is making predictions on how much money gay marriage will generate here in Maine and in some of the other states where the new law just passed. In Maine, Maryland, and Washington, the combined number is expected to be about $166 million, with about $16 million of that spending happening right here in Maine. It is important to note this study does not include the dollars that out-of-staters will spend in these states.
Well, Senator-elect Angus King is in Washington for the first time since last week's election, arriving yesterday. He's there for a series of orientation meetings, but also meetings to help him try to decide which party he will align himself with. Senator-elect King is widely expected to caucus with the Democrats, although he is not tipping his hand yet, saying it could be Democrats, Republicans, or neither. He says he will decide soon, but will try to remain as unaligned as possible, with voting as conscious and not along party lines. Now today, King met with Olympia Snowe to talk about his transition into the U.S. Senate and says she agrees with King's bipartisan approach. King will meet with Senator Collins coming up tomorrow, who says she already is also trying to help with the transition.
I've talked to Angus 3 times since the election. We had a very good conversation just yesterday about committee assignments, and I will be meeting with him in my Washington office on Tuesday. I look forward to introducing him to his new colleagues and helping him with the orientation that new senators go through.
Of course, Senators Snowe and Collins worked with King when he was governor as well. King's staff is also starting to take shape. He says this week would be the earliest he'll announce any decision about caucusing, but he says it could take until after Thanksgiving.
Now, your Weather Authority forecast with Charlie DePresti.
All right, welcome back, everyone. Today was a gorgeous start to the work week, wasn't it? Sunny skies, temps generally running in the 60s. Well, work week for some folks, I guess. I expect tomorrow to feature more clouds. There will be some showers, temps in the 50s for highs during the morning anyway. During the afternoon, the temps will be falling into the 40s. In fact, 40s will be common for Wednesday and Thursday. We'll have bright skies during that period, but between there, we have a cold front moving through. Highs today, again, very warm. Normal high temperature for this date is around 50 degrees, and we were a good 10 to 15 degrees above that. Portland topped out at 60, Wiscasset, Augusta, lower 60s. Look at Sanford and Portsmouth, mid to upper 60s. Let's remember, this is November. Freiburg coming in the mid 60s as well. All right, where do we go from here? Well, temps are still very mild. Overnight lows tonight are going to stay in the 50s, so it's going to be a very warm night by November standards again. We're still holding on to temps in the 50s, a few spots, even near 60 degrees. Look at Whitefield, New Hampshire, still at 62. This evening. We will have our warmest portion of the day tomorrow during the morning hours. Those temps will be falling during the afternoon in response to a cold front. Right behind me, of course, we have a line of rain moving from southern Canada all the way down through the Great Lakes and all the way down, in fact, to the Gulf Coast. We actually have that cold front really splitting the nation right now. Of course, today was about as good as it gets. Just a few increasing high thin clouds. This is our Raymond sky cam. Again, a fantastic day, but things are changing. Again, this cold front is really just the boundary between the mild air mass we have in place and the cooler air that is slated to arrive here for mid to late week. So the mild air is in place right now. Cooler air is currently locked up over the Great Lakes. All right, hour by hour in Storm Tracker. I want to start you out early tomorrow morning. Again, it's not going to be a cold night. Temps will start in the mid to upper 50s. This 7 o'clock in the morning. We're going to start with some clouds, areas of drizzle, and there may even be a shower from time to time. Then we'll see a few on and off showers throughout the day until the cold front moves through late morning or early afternoon. So the last of the showers will probably be moving through early afternoon. I want to draw your attention to the temperature setup. While the early morning highs will be in the mid to upper 50s, afternoon temperatures will be falling into the 40s. Just that kind of day. Cooler air will invade. Tomorrow's going to be a breezy day as well. A strong south wind during the morning and a stiff northwest wind during the afternoon. Wednesday looks nice. Bright sunny skies, but temps struggling to get out of the mid 40s. So sort of a dynamic day when you think about it tomorrow. It's going to start off mild. There will be some rain, but cooler air will certainly win out. Okay, some on and off showers. Falling temperatures throughout the day tomorrow. That 57, I don't want you to pay too much attention to that because that will probably be around 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning. Again, falling temps with temps in the 40s by afternoon. Overnight lows slipping the 30s by Wednesday morning. Sunshine will dominate the sky mid to late week, and looks like lots of sunshine right into and through the weekend. Last week at this time, we were getting ready for some snow. This week, well, we're getting ready for a little bit of rainfall. In the longer range forecast, we have nothing but sunshine here. There might be a few clouds from time to time, particularly Friday and early Monday, but hey, no big storms. We'll take that. High pressure will dominate our forecast.
This was it for I told my kids, I said, look, you should expect this to be the last of the 60 degrees.
That's probably
You never know, but
yeah, you never know. You absolutely never. I remember in December, several years ago, we had high temps in the 70s, but that is very, very rare.
Doesn't happen often.
Yeah, so you never know this time of year, but hey, last week, just last week, for instance, we had snow.
That's right.
And this week we're tracking highs in the 60s, but that's coming to an end. Party's over with the cold front tomorrow.
Yeah. Oh, I'm glad the sun is sticking around though.
I like when he's bored though.
Yeah,
it's good for the rest of us.
It's good for us, right?
That's it. Lots of sun. That's quiet.
Sounds good, Charlie.
Thanks, Charlie.